demands were met. Of course, Donald Trump didn't win in 2020. I think it's fair to say that Trump won the election but lost the presidency and lost the vote. And I'll clarify that distinction. When I say election, I mean in terms of what we think an election is supposed to be. A gentleman presents his arguments, the people then vote. Another gentleman says, well, I object and I propose my counter arguments, and the people vote. Trump certainly won on the grounds of his argument, and he got more votes than any sitting president in the history of this country. However, Joe Biden took the White House because Joe Biden won the game. Elections are not these simple debates and then the people decide. Never have been. It's naive to think so. So my point is simply that Donald Trump certainly had the argument on his side, but the Democrats had the procedure and the strategy. And that's why Joe Biden ended up winning what really mattered, a seat in the White House. For this, I think that we ended up seeing things simmer down a little bit. I mean, of course, January 6th, after the fact, then you had a second impeachment of Trump. You have the insurrection, the criminal charges. You know, look, my friends, it is. Call it whatever you want to call it. It's not the same as 1861, but we are in something, and you can call it whatever you want. I think perhaps it's naive to say civil war because it's an archaic term, but we're certainly facing something. This is perhaps a seditious conspiracy, an ongoing coup, a period of strife that will have a name in the history books. I don't know what you call it. Depends on who wins. If Donald Trump loses, if the America First, the American people lose, if you and I lose, this story about the seditious conspiracy will just disappear. Perhaps it will emerge later on as the noble effort to stop the Russian takeover of the United States. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe they'll make the argument that brave men and women knew that the Russia collusion hoax was real. Maybe. History is written by the victors. Norm Macdonald had a great joke where he says, I was just reading history and this is great news. The good guys have won every time. That's right. If we win, perhaps we will expose what we already know to be true. Barack Obama's administration engaged in a coup, a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people to retain power, and they probably still do. Now, I think